Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
Wireless light switches and how they could cut house wiring costs in half. It's a little complicated to say that.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. So this is cool because it's a Canadian invention. So the article that we're talking about from U Alberta discusses an innovative wireless light switch, which was developed by Professor, I hope I don't mess up his name, Kambiz Moez at the University of Alberta. And it operates without batteries. And the way it does that is by harvesting ambient radio frequency. So like RFID, things like that. So his switch eliminates the need to run wires from each switch to the connected light fixture, which could reduce home wiring costs by up to 50%, according to Moez. So the switch consists of a wireless transmitter that can be installed anywhere on a wall and an RF power transmitter placed on each floor of the home to provide the power to all the switches wirelessly. So we're talking kind of wireless power, but not really because it's just RF. So he's already created a working prototype switch for under $1. And apparently the technology is scalable, customizable, and easy to install based on his design. And it was approved for use in Alberta homes in actually 2018. So in addition to cost savings, the wireless approach enables smart home applications like occupancy sensors, automated lighting, and climate controls and different things like that. So yeah, it's really cool. If commercialized, the switch could be a boon for home builders and consumers seeking affordable smart home upgrades, as well as reducing the cost to build new homes. So really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, and I was wondering about the cost, but it looks here he's developed a prototype switch for less than $1 that can be installed anywhere on a wall. The switch is scalable, easy to replicate and adapt. So it sounds like it'll be not necessarily more expensive than existing solutions. I guess the question is, the switch has got to talk to something. It's always nice to say, oh yeah, the switch is really cheap with this whatever it is with the that sucks static electricity out of the air and ambient energy and works. What's it connect to?
There's a couple things. So it connects to an RF power transmitter. So I'm guessing it's like a bridge kind of thing. I don't know, but like obviously you're gonna have to interoperate with smart home technologies like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, Apple Home, which I don't like, and all other ones. But there's a couple things here to think about. So the RF power transmission, it may raise concerns about exposure safety. Obviously, he's going to be compliant with FCC and health regulations and things like that. But the other thing, too, is although no batteries is useful, the RF power transmitters would still need a continuous power source. So backup battery for power outages would be pretty much a staple would be needed in this. But again, if the power's out, how are you going to turn on your lights and things like that? But it could be, this is more around other technologies that could utilize this concept, if that makes sense. I think you're on mute.
Sorry, but this looks amazing. I love the concept. We just don't know how the cost of those things. And then are we going to need, like, we're talking about saving wiring costs. Are the light fixtures and the furnace or whatever, because we talk about you can do temperature, heat, and humidity and do a bunch of different stuff here. Are they all going to have to be wired in, or are they going to have somehow a wireless sensor that connects as well?
Well, no, they're all going to need to be connected to power, unless we get into wireless power transmission, right? Which is even
absolutely.
crazier.
But do they need to be wired to a switch somewhere that turns them on and off that works with this?
I think so. I'm trying to think how this would work. So the lights would have, so they probably all need an adapter, or they would have to have something built in. It makes sense because obviously you need a two-way communication, right? So you need some sort of chip or something that could handle that. So maybe it could be that like you get a new fuse panel that integrates all of this potentially.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could potentially do. I'm just trying to, out of the box, you're excited about it, but then you're like, okay, what can I really do with it now? It's like, not much. But new homes, like if you can get rid of significantly a lot of that copper, which is really expensive now, and hook all this stuff up wirelessly, never mind some of the things it's saying here where you can have it automatically open and close heating and cooling vents for you if you're not in those areas of the houses. So
this comes back to that movie. I don't know if you saw the movie Antitrust. It's kind of based on Microsoft, but it was cool because the guy who was the head of the company stars Ryan Phillippe. It's really good. You should watch it if you haven't. It's old, but it's in the 90s. But what happened was whoever would enter a room, it would change the art based on their profile and things like that. So this could potentially enable that as well. Obviously, right now you could enable that by wiring, but if you want to build it into current homes, this would help too because it's wireless, right? So you could figure out how to. I'm sure there's a way to retrofit.
Yeah, I think I remember that movie. I know that Bill Gates had a painting like that. I'm going to say a painting. A monitor like that looked like art that changed with their mood or whoever was in the room and whatnot. So it was interesting. I remember seeing at least that scene in the movie. I don't remember the rest of it. But like it says here, imagine heating a 3,000 square foot house, but you're only in one room at any given time. If your house wirelessly controlled the vents, you can close the vents outside the room or maybe a couple of bedrooms. Could seamlessly turn this, we all see those in movies where you walk from room to room and it shuts the stuff off behind you and lights it up behind you. And eventually that becomes,
they actually, believe it or not, that technology exists. It's sensors, but that's huge in Europe. They're all about that in Europe. Every building has that. So even residential buildings, everything has that. And they've had that for years. And that's just using a sensor when you walk into a room, right, with a timer. But this is more like tracking you kind of thing.
Yeah, there are a few buildings in Toronto that have this type of technology that are more modern. I remember visiting Cisco a few years back, and they had sensors everywhere. If there wasn't anywhere in this area, they would start shutting things down automatically, and it really had this. They were in a smart building that had all sorts of interesting stuff. So it's great to see this, but I think we're way behind what they are in Europe because we're so spread out.
We are.
It's hard to.
It'll be interesting to see who adopts this first. It looks like Alberta, obviously, but see how far that gets adopted. But I think that there's great potential for this, especially for retrofitting as well. So, but there's obviously some concerns, right, as far as potential reliability. So the wireless systems could be prone to interference, connectivity issues, just like your Wi-Fi, right? So there could be range limitations, the power sources, the complexity, like we talked for retrofitting, compatibility, load control limits, whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, of course. And you talked about retrofitting. What are the options for putting this into an existing home system?
Yeah. So, the thing is it should be able to integrate with existing mainstream home automation systems. So we talked about Wi-Fi and mesh networks, smart home platforms, Zigbee, Z-Wave, IFTTT support. That's if this, then that. Hub integration, cloud APIs, AI. It's all about the hub, right? So this switch, it's just essentially an interface. It's like an on-off kind of thing. Where the connectivity is going to come in is in the hub that he builds or how that integrates, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah, we got some comments here that I was missing because we had some technical lists. I'm just getting into wiring now. I've never even considered product cost. So this is cool. Thank you, LinkedIn user. Super cool. Glad to be here. Glad to have you. Seems natural since solving for functionality is the first applicative step. Yeah, this is great. I love this, the concept, and it looks like we're moving into more and more, like the fact that they're no battery is the kind of the key that triggers all this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any final words before we jump to the next topic?
No, I think love that this is a Canadian-based project. Let's just hope that he's not hindered by our crappy Canadian investing system that we have here and limitations that the government puts on.
Well, I anybody who's significantly smart will go to the U.S. if they're not getting the support here. So we'll see that's what happens, and then we lose the brain drain and we lose the IP
for sure. Yeah.
John, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm not going to it yet, but OCI Discovery X is next week. Should be a phenomenal conference. I think it's 2 days in Toronto. That's I've got. Oh, there's a fractional dinner that's been organized by Ryan Wong coming up this April 25th, which is going to be really cool. He does some really good events. He does some generative AI events and different things. So really cool stuff. There's a post on LinkedIn that I posted about it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And then on May 2nd, but we'll be talking more about it, but might as well plug it now. We've got Startup Drinks, which I'm excited for. I always love that.
Yeah, Startup Drinks CO on May 2nd. We've already got like 40 tickets sold, so it's going to be a good one. If find out more at TorontoStarts, all our podcasts and events and whatnot go up there. I'll be launching new courses and coaching programs soon. If you're stuck in your business and want to move forward, go to startupcoach.ca and book a discovery call. I'm launching some new courses to teach knowledge workers, busy professionals, technical gurus how to turn their knowledge into a high ticket course. So look for that coming soon, and basically teaching people how to productize their knowledge.
Perfect.
And if people wanted to, let me see. Oh, that's a ticker. Never mind.
That's fine.
They should reach out to you on LinkedIn for anything funding related.
Anything funding related. Yeah, there's always new funds coming out. There's a new one by OCI that just came out. If you're in the construction field or critical technologies, there's a new one that just released. It's a new program. It's a 2-year program. Feel free. It's for housing and different things like that. So, yeah.
That's John Irwin on LinkedIn. And we got one last comment here. Quasars and black holes remind me of charges and spins. I wonder what the difference is. So maybe one is definitely a megastructure. We talked about glowing black holes last week.
Yeah. So that's a great comment. Feel free. We talked about in depth in our previous podcast, and this is episode 22, I think. We've got 21 other episodes on Spotify and on Apple Music and on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's not exactly accurate. We've recorded 22 of these, but after about 4 episodes, I started breaking them up into each. We cover 3 topics, and there's 3 episodes per. I think we're around episode 30 on Spotify, and but yeah, you're
right. I underestimated. I apologize.
No, it's all right. It's okay. Thank you, everyone. Check out the Futuretech podcast on Apple Podcasts or on Toronto Starts, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Wow, that was amazing.
That's all.